Shall I start now?
Yes, Swamiji, sorry. I guess I was on mute. Yes, please start. Thank you.
Okay then. Arup? Namaskar. So, now again, this is the December. Of course, now almost at the end of the December 2023. And this year, this is the last discourse on the Sri Ramayana. So, we'll be beginning to read the Ramayana, but before that, let us offer our pranam to Sri Ramachandra. Apadam aphartaram Dataram sarvasampadam Lokaviramam Sri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Ramaya Ramachandraya Ramabhadraya Vedase Raghunathaaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Friends, today you will see the mind of Hanumana. So, we have already discussed this about the Hanumana, and in details, maybe when we will conclude the Ramayana, you will discuss about the civilization of the Hanumana, and now and then we have discussed about that. And presently this Hanumana, who is there in Sri Lanka, after a great search he reached over there, and then we have seen how intelligent he was, because he was in a mission, and the mission is to find out the mother Sita. And when he reached over there, he first saw the ladies, the queens and the others in the Ravana's palace. He made a mistake by thinking that some of them may be Sita. Then afterwards, he understood that Sita was abducted by the Ravana. And Sita, the wife of Sri Rama, can never be dressed like that and happily smiling, running and laughing. It cannot be. Obviously, I am making a mistake. I have to find out Sita somewhere else. Then he started searching in different corners, different places, and the jails and all that. Then ultimately he found her in a jungle, a beautifully decorated that place. It was the Ravana's very special place. So there he found the Sita under a tree, and seeing her face, immediately Hanumana could recognize this must be the Sita. The pious face, the beautiful eyes, and now constantly crying, and no proper food, and taking rest on the bare that land. Obviously Hanumana could understand that this is the austerity this lady is doing, and we know how he appeared before Sita, because the Ravana had the capacity to change his forms. That magical power the Ravana was having, and many of the Rakshasas, they were having that capacity, that changing the form. And we know that one of the Rakshasas, he took the form of a deer, golden deer, that attracted Sita, and all these things started happening. So obviously Hanumana's mind, that's why he immediately understood that I have to be very, very cautious, careful, that Sita should not be scared. And we have already read how he was slowly bringing the confidence in the mind of the Sita by praising the name of Lord. none over there knew the story of Sri Ramachandra, Dasharatha, Lakshmana, and their all the stories of the Ramayana. So no one was there. When the Hanumana was singing those things, sitting on a tree, that obviously the Sita started believing that someone who knows all this, known to Sri Rama, has come over here. Now she was wondering how one can find her there, because that was an island far away from the mainland. How they could trace that? And secondly, is it that the same the Rakshasa just to tempt her doing like this? How they will know this story? So she was in two minds. Then Hanumana came down with the white clothes, so that this is the cloth of the respected people, and in a very small size, so that Sita should not be scared. And by that way, we know that Sita accepted him. Now Hanumana, after taking the blessings of the Sita, and also something from the Sita that he will show it to Sri Rama, he now on the way to go back to Sri Rama. But he thought, well, since I have come so far, let me show our power. So from here, if we see a person who is having confidence, tremendous confidence on him, all alone, in the land of the enemies, he was thinking, I should perform in such a way so that they will be terrified. And they will start thinking, oh my God, only one person can do so much of havoc. Then if the thousands like this are coming, then what will happen to us? To terrify the enemies, the Rakshasas, he started beating them, killing them, destroying them, uprooting the trees, throwing the trees. And then whole this Lanka, the wonderful city, it was as if some bad thing is happening, like the huge wave has come and destroying the city, like that. And he was constantly sitting on the top of the city door. It was decorated very high, and the Hanumana himself was giving the description. It was a very well planned city, very advanced city, and they were having beautiful buildings and wonderful the architecture. So to attract the ordinary people's sight, so that they will see him, and at the same time when the Ravanas, the soldiers are coming, so he was beating them, killing them. It went on, and ultimately Indrajit came, the son of Sri Ravana, and Indrajit arrested Hanumana. First, Indrajit applied the Brahmastra. It was not possible for Hanumana to protect. To respect that Brahmastra, he surrendered as if. He never tried to protect himself in that way. Now again, the mind of Hanumana, he thought, let me get arrested and they will take me to the king. Obviously, king is also curious to see a person killing so many soldiers. 80,000 were killed by one person. How powerful is he? Let me see. So Indrajit also will think that he is so powerful. So obviously when a person started thinking too much about him, he will lose his own power, his own guard. So if necessary, I can kill him too. So planning in that way, he surrendered and he went to the court of Sri Ravana. The Hanumana surrendered there, and when he was placed before the Ravana, it was announced before the Ravana that the Hanumana has been arrested and they are bringing. So Ravana with all his ministers and people, all were eager to see him. So he was sitting on the throne and the Hanumana entered into that, and he was wondering, oh my God, what a beautiful house, beautiful palace, and wonderfully decorated, so rich. His own king that is Sugriva, they were also having the kingdom, they were also having the palace, they were also having the thrones, but that was not that proper way. Now Hanumana is comparing the civilization, so obviously he was appreciating Rakshasa's civilization. The Rakshasas were very advanced group of people. The when nowadays, when we use this particular word Rakshasa, it comes to our mind a very cruel, bad type of people. No, they were not. They were the highly advanced civilized people. Ravana himself was a very highly educated person. He was so intelligent, people used to say that he is as if like 10 people. So Dasha Mukha, that 10 people together, that intelligent, only one person he was having. So this is the Ravana. And naturally in his group there were many different type of people. There were engineers, and they could construct, they could make the city in a very modern way. So it was something very interesting for the Hanumana. And Hanumana went and saw the Ravana. Now friends, look at the mind of Hanumana. When he saw the Ravana in the Sundara Kanda, he said, Aho Rupam, Aho Dhairyam, Aho Sattam, Aho Dutihi, Aho Rakshasa Rajasya, Sarva Lakshana Yuktata. He is praising the Ravana. When he saw the Ravana, he said, oh, the king of the Rakshasas is having so many good qualities. Physically is very handsome. Aho Rupam. Aho means oh, and Rupam, the physical beauty. So he is so handsome. The Ravana was very handsome, very good looking person. And then Aho Dhairyam. Now Dhairya means he himself never came out. A king is not losing his patience. We know that in the beginning he sent a big group of his servants. They were not proper soldiers. They were servants but armed. So they were first sent to capture the Hanumana, thinking the Hanumana is the one person what he will do. But when he killed each and every one of them, then the Ravana started sending the real warriors, but they were also killed. So that is the, but still Ravana himself never came out to catch him. Dhairya. A king should not lose his patience. There is only one person who has come unknown, doing something, terrorizing the people. So that is okay, but the king himself should not go over there. Why? If the king is killed, if something happened to the king, then what will happen to the country? Who will take the decision? And it is not like the present day that the government means so other people are there, not like that. It was only the king, the ruler and the subject. So obviously king was most important. Ravana was very egoistic and he used to become angry about every little thing. But even then he was having the patience. He was going on sending the different categories of people to capture the Hanumana, and finally he knew, because Indrajit had that capacity, the special type of power. So he had tremendous power to capture people with almost unseen type of weapons. So he thought the Indrajit will be successful, and Indrajit got the success, captured the Hanumana, and Hanumana is appreciating his patience. Aho Dhairyam, Aho Sattam. Look at this, not only handsome, not only having patience, the unique power that he is having. Aho Sattam. Here the Satta is not the Sattva Guna, is the tremendous power. Ravana's hands were very powerful. So they say the Aho Sattam, the tremendous power that Ravana was having. He not only knew all the scripture, he also knew a magical power. So he could do many things. It was very difficult to fight with him. So aho sattam, aho dutihi. Look at his gestures. A man is known by his gestures and postures. Sometimes he will be looking like this, he will be raising the eyebrow, he will be turning his head. All that shows the royal way. And these are some of the people, particularly the movie artists, they practice it under the teachers. So that is the way you can attract the people's attention. Dutihi. This is a aho dutihi. So look at him, very attractive gestures. Now many people do not know how to sit properly. Many people do not know how to turn their head properly, look at the people properly, or even sometimes the yawning properly, expressing the happiness or expressing sometimes you are surprised how you will express. Different type of levels of people. In the lower level, in the villages, if you go, simply they will do that. But the more cultured people you're mixing, you will know that their expressions are completely different. The Ravana, that Hanumana observed that, aho dutihi. Then he is telling, if he was not having this tremendous ego, then he would have been the king of the gods. Aho rakshasa rajasya sarva lakshana yuktata. He was having all good qualities. Friends, usually what happened? If we don't like someone, enemy, we never like to see any good quality in him. That means we are very much weak-minded. We don't have the self-confidence. If a person is having the self-confidence, he will appreciate others also, even the enemy. Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra, he is appreciating his enemies also. Why? Because Rama was knowing that he has tremendous power. No one can vanquish him. No one can defeat him. That's why he could appreciate. We have already read when the Bharata was approaching Sri Ramachandra in that jungle, how Lakshmana was behaving. He was also a prince, a brother of Rama. But Lakshmana, he could not keep the patience. He wanted to go and fight, he wanted to do this, wanted to do that. The Rama was patiently waiting. Why? He said, look, the Bharata, our brother, we know him. His mind is broad and he is a very good person. He won't go down so low to come with all these people to kill us. There must be some other reason. Wait, why? Rama knew all that group of soldiers who are coming. With that also Bharata won't be able to defeat him. The self-confidence gives this. And when we lose our self-confidence, we behave in a very peculiar way, criticizing all the time and trying to prove that I am somebody, I am good. So weakness proves like that. So the mind of Hanumana, he could appreciate because he had tremendous self-confidence. He was appreciating the Ravana. He knew Ravana is the enemy of Rama. And he also knew if the Rama hear that he is appreciating the enemy, he may get angry. But he was confident, no, my master Rama will not become like that. So from the point of view, why we are discussing this little thing that gives us a unique idea about the Hanumana's mind. Whenever we think about the Hanumana, we think that he is lifting the hill, he is killing this many people, he is so powerful, but we don't try to understand the mind of Hanumana. So this Hanumana is a great mind. So Ravana, sitting on his royal throne, surrounded by his advisors and ministers, he was keenly observing Hanumana. Ravana was wondering, that he was not expressing though, that how one person can become so powerful. And how could he kill? Who is he? All powers come mostly from the austerities. And this group of Hanumana was not a king. So obviously, Ravana was not knowing him. Hanumana was one of the followers of the king, the Sugriva or the Bali. But he was not the king. So Ravana, being a king, was not introduced to the Hanumana. So he was trying to understand, looking at him keenly. Ravana then ordered the Prahasta, one of his ministers, to inquire, and hearing that, the Prahasta asked Hanumana, "Hey, where from have you come? Who has sent you? Is it that King Indra has sent you?" Because they were not aware of the Hanumana. So naturally they were thinking, who are these people? God and Rakshasas, they were equal. In those days, they were in the power, they were having the. In between all these different clans, including the human being, they never counted them. So obviously they were afraid of Indra, the king of gods. He was having also the magical power. He was also having different type of special weapons. So they were inquiring, have Indra has sent you over here? And why you have come? What is your goal? What is your idea? So naturally, when a person is arrested, that is the way they try to understand. So now Hanumana very calmly he said, "O king," he didn't address that minister, the Prahasta. He directly addressed the king, and he said, "I am the messenger of Sugriva. I am here at the behest of my king Sugriva. He is the brother of Bali." Now there are another in different the Ramayanas are there. In one of the Ramayanas they said, it mentioned, the Bali and the Ravana had a duel. And in that, the Bali defeated Ravana, and not only that, threw him in that ocean. And 7 times he did that. So he is mentioning the name of the Bali to remind the Ravana, you can remember that Bali who defeated you 7 times? So that is the Bali's brother is Sugriva. He said, "O king, I am here at the behest of my king Sugriva, the brother of Bali. You know them." So this is the way, the very political way of giving the statements. When we talk, we don't calculate in that way. But if the politicians are giving some statements, they will say in such a way, they will have different meanings. So he is mentioning only the name of the Bali, and by that way he is referring to that defeat of the king Ravana. So obviously Ravana will, oh my God, the Bali, his brother. That way the effect will be. So he said, you know them. Now he said, a great king of Ayodhya, Dasharatha, his elder son Sri Rama came to Dandaka. He is as if he doesn't know anything, he is reminding. The Ravana knew all this. So why he is telling? He is not directly pointing the finger on the Ravana and to say, hey, you have abducted the Sita, the wife of Sri Rama. He is not mentioning like that. See, this is the way they always talk. He is mentioning this king, the Dasharatha. Dasharatha was a great king, very powerful. Though the comparing with the Rakshas's power, the human power was very less. But the Dasharatha was the friend of the gods. Dasharatha always helped the gods to fight with the Rakshasas in many times. So they knew Dasharatha. The Dasharatha was a great charioteer. he could move his chariot in such a way as if he is moving from 10 directions. The Dashamunda Ravana, the Dashamukha Ravana, the same Dasharatha. Ratha means the chariot. And he was so wonderfully, he was so clever and expert in driving that the people used to feel that as if he is coming from 10 different directions. He could maneuver, he could move his chariot in that way. It is though he was very famous as Dasharatha. This Dasharatha, he was famous warrior, a king, and the friend of the gods. So obviously his son, you must know, his elder son Sri Rama, and his brother, the Lakshmana, and his wife Janaki, they all came to Dandaka forest. Sri Rama lost his wife in the Janaka Sthana. Janasthana is a place where Sri Rama killed thousands of Rakshasas. Janasthana is one of the very stronghold of the Rakshasas. But they used to torture the other people like the rishis. The rishis were highly respected because they were the researchers. They were not the ordinary people. They used to research. They used to find out the best way of living, food, animal, and at the same time spiritual. So these are the rishis, they were the researchers, they are not supposed to be disturbed. But those people, they were disturbing them. So obviously, when they requested the Rama alone killed all these thousands. So that was a story that terrified all the Rakshasas. So they were wondering, only one human being killing the Rakshasas, that too in thousand, and that too in this place, the Janasthana. This Janasthana, and his wife was abducted. Look at it. He never mentioned who abducted her, only mentioning. So naturally the king could understand everything is coming towards him. And while searching, the two brothers reached Rishyamukha. Now the wife was lost, somebody took her or whatever maybe, and he used the word lost. So naturally the two brothers, they were searching the Sita and they came to Rishyamukha hill. Why he is mentioning these places and the person's name? So that the Ravana will understand he is telling the history. He knows the history, he is telling the truth. If he said, I have come because my king, the Shugriva has sent me, maybe a lie. Just he is taking the name of the Shugriva. So he is giving the Shugriva, the brother of Bali. The moment he mentioned the Bali, Ravana understood it. He mentioned this now, this Bali was killed by this Rama. Why? Because Shugriva became friend to Rama. Now you can understand the Bali who defeated you 7 times, he was killed by Rama just by one shot. How powerful he will be. The Bali who could defeat you 7 times, he was killed by Rama. That Rama has become the friend of the Sugriva, and that Sugriva with full power, the Bhallukas and the Banaras, is supporting Rama. Why? He is searching the Janaki. The Janaki was lost in these places. So the whole history he is mentioning in his statement. As a friend, Sri Rama helped Shugriva in a duel with Bali. O Ravana, you won't believe Sri Rama killed the powerful Bali in one shot. So just in one arrow, by one arrow, he could kill him. You know that the story goes like that. Then when the Rama wanted to become a friend of the Sugriva, with the condition that Sugriva will help him to find out Sita. Then Rama told, in that case, I will also help you to get back your kingdom by killing the Bali. The Sugriva told, you like to kill Bali? And you know the power of Bali? How you will kill him? Rama told, I am not going to touch him. I will just kill him with my bow and arrow. And we mentioned in our previous discourses, the bow and arrow was completely new for the Banaras. The Banaras used to fight mainly the wrestling by throwing stones or taking the sticks, like that only, very primitive type of weapons. So they used to kill them by breaking their head and all that. But here, very advanced type of weapon both the brothers were carrying, so they were wondering, what is it? So he said, you look a human being, not that physically strong like the Bali, so you think that you will be able to kill him? Just to give him the confidence, Rama, with one arrow, he pierced the 7 trees at a time. That we can imagine the tremendous force of the arrow. That 7 trees that was lined up in one place, Rama pierced that in one arrow. Sugriva got back their confidence, yes, this man can do it. And that type of tremendous forceful arrow, one shot, that killed the Bali. Mentioning this, he is also terrifying Ravana. So look at it, whose wife you have abducted, and he is coming over here, not alone. He will be coming, and he is mentioning, O king, by what and Sugriva, now the king of the Vanara and Ballukas, promised to find the queen Sita. As a part of that mission, I have come just crossing the ocean with a lip. Again he is mentioning, because they were wondering how he could come. Ravana used to cross that ocean, we know, with that one type of an aircraft, and that he snatched from the very rich person, and that was the only thing by which he could move. But here the Hanumana told, oh, I just gave a lip and then I came over here, and like these thousands are there. It was not. There he just exaggerated. The others could also, they were powerful, but not like Hanumana. Hanumana had that magical power, the yogic power, right from the beginning. So that power he he used to cross the ocean. Then Hanumana is like me. There are thousands of Banaras are there in Sugriva's army. They all are ready to come here to rescue Ma Sita. After giving this background, this is the Bali, so powerful, who defeated you. He has been killed by the Rama, and the Rama is the son of the great king who is a friend of the gods, and his wife somebody has stolen, and she is now here. I have found her over here, so we will come to rescue her. When they were talking like that, they never thought the Ravana can kill Sita. No. The mind was not that low. They never killed the women or the children. Punishing sometimes it may be, but not killing. So that was there. So that was the ancient Indian the culture. The Hanumana, he gave these all the sentences, each and every word that he said, and that he said in such a way the Ravana started thinking, oh my God, then it is a real good challenge for me. Even the Ravana started thinking. Now he is telling, Hanumana is telling the Ravana, O king, by virtue of your religious penance, you have become the king of Lanka, a beautiful land. Do not spoil those merit by torturing a pious lady like Sita. Send Janaki back with due respect, and I am sure kind-hearted Sri Rama will forgive you. Now, this is how Hanumana, in the beginning, Hanumana came, and then after meeting the Sita, he created havoc, so to prove that he is not afraid. Though he is alone in that enemy land, he is not afraid. Then after that, after meeting the Ravana, just as a giving the statement, giving the news that he is a messenger and why he has come over here, he said the words in such a way that Ravana, even the person like Ravana, will be afraid. Oh, these are the enemies. How nicely he mentioned. And we have noticed that he never mentioned that you have abducted her. He said she was lost. He said we found her here. He said the thousands of powerful Hanumanas like me are waiting to come over here to rescue her. He said the Rama who could kill the powerful Bali just by one arrow. So all these things was the very nice way he was presenting, so that the people sitting over here and listening, not only Ravana, many others, they will be terrified. So this is the both way he said. Then the Ravana was not in a mood to listen to the advice of the Hanumana. And when a person is supposed to be destroyed, he never listens to the good words. They always say that. In the Bhagavad Gita, we find when the Arjuna is asking how the God helps devotees, then the Bhagavan Krishna is mentioning Buddhi Yogam Dadamaham. If he is a good person, he is a devotee of me, then I help him by giving him proper buddhi. Buddhi means the determinative faculty. That we have a mind all the time swells, shall I do this, shall I not do this? And that is the particular condition that's called mind, mana in Sanskrit. But buddhi means determinative faculty. I must do this. This buddhi, if it is by the blessings of God, is positive, good, one person become God. A person become God just by that buddhi, not by physical power. Realization of God, but transformation is all from the buddhi, determinative faculty. And in that always it should be positive, good ideas. But same buddhi, if it goes negative for the torturing of others, they become Ashura. Now the Ashura has become a bad name, bad word. So similarly, Deva has become good word, but Deva and Ashura, they were two clans, two groups of people. But one, they started helping others and becoming friendly with others. So Deva became the good, and Asuras became very selfish, egoistic, so they became bad. The Ravana, the king of the Asuras, unfortunately, though he was having all these qualities, he was very egoistic and he was not in a mood to listen to the Hanumana's words. Not only Hanumana, his brothers also said that, his wife also said that, but he never took that advice. He could save his land and people, but very unfortunate. That's why it says, if the king is unfortunate, the people living under that king are also unfortunate. If the ruler is bad, because of his bad action, bad decision, the people in that country under that rule will also suffer. That is the reason in the traditional way they always try to make the rulers good. And all the time rulers were having a good advisor, a rishi, very neutral. The rishi was not having any interest, self-interest. Only he used to think that how people should be happy. A ruler can make the people happy, or can make the people suffering because of his decision. And the decision comes through the buddhi, the determinative faculty. So obviously Ravana's buddhi, that determinative faculty, didn't work properly. So he decided that Hanumana should be killed. So he was about to announce that when his brother Vibhishana, he was a very pious person, he reminded him that killing a messenger is against the righteousness and custom. There is a beautiful dialogue between the two brothers, the Vibhishana and the Ravana. And Vibhishana told, so if you are angry, if you like to send a message to the opponent king through this messenger who has brought the message to you, you may shave his head and send back as an insult to the sender king, your opponent, your enemy. You may beat that person also, but there is no custom. Custom means a practice in the tradition to kill the messenger. Why? Because your message also should go back to the sender through him. How you are going to send the message to him if you kill him? He may be thinking that he has been lost. He will not know that you have killed him. So you have to send back the message, your message, through this person. So don't kill him. Rather, you do some torturing, that will be all right. Ravana, after considering, he appreciated. That's true. I have to send my message back to Rama that I don't care you, and I am ready to challenge you to fight with you. And before that, I should punish your messenger. As the Hanumana was having a big tail, then Ravana told, hey, why don't we put the fire into that tail? Instead of putting the fire in the body, the tail. This is an extra part of the body. So put the fire on the tail. Everybody was very happy because the negative ideas, then when the king is thinking in a negative way, all the ministers and the followers, even if they don't like, they will also appreciate just to please the king. Vibhishana was the only person, a pious person. He said no to the Ravana. When the Ravana got the support, whether willingly or unwillingly, almost all people, and because of the wrong decision, they all were destroyed. It is only Vibhishana, because he thought this is not the righteous way to torture a lady, the wife of somebody else, and then putting the whole country into in difficulty, in danger, just because the king's fancy. Now the Rama is coming to attack us. Vibhishana would have been the first person to stand by the side of the Ravana to fight with Rama, because an enemy is coming to capture our country. But this is a completely different case. Friends, from here we should learn. The Ravana and the Rama, the two great personalities, both were highly educated and both were from the very good background. Both were in their own the heroic, but one was good and another was bad because of their thought. The Ravana was selfish. He wanted to enjoy, and for that he never cared about the others, the thousands of his soldiers. They were simply, he sent them who were killed for no reason. So this is the way we have to understand. Shall we support the king who is doing that for his own personal benefit? Or we should stand aside like the Vibhishana. The Vibhishana, in those days, even today, the people will be saying, oh, actually he betrayed, a betrayer. No, he was not a betrayer. He was the righteous person. He stood over there to fight for the good. So that is also the teaching of the religion. The Ramayana is a religious book, though it is a history. But in every step we find it is teaching us the righteousness. Yato dharma stato jaya. Wherever there is the righteousness, that is going to be successful. With that is the word we heard in the Mahabharata. The Duryodhana's mother, she was having the power, the righteous power. Her blessings were unfailing. When the Duryodhana wanted the blessings of his own mother, his father, he was always supporting his son. Even if he is doing the wrong thing, the passive support of the father was always there. But the mother, when the Duryodhana, the son, asked for the blessings to be successful, what was the blessings? Yato dharma tato jaya. Wherever there is righteousness, there is the success. If you are on the side of the righteousness, the success will come. Otherwise, I don't know. So look at this. This is called Matri Shakti. The mother means always, oh, no, not like that. Anything bad the children are doing and I am supporting, that is not a mother. That is not a mother. Mother means always like this. So that mother, like the Draupadi and the others, very strong in taking the decision. If you are good, I am with you. If you are not good, whoever you may be in relation, even my child, even my son or daughter, I am not with you. That's called Matri Shakti, the power of the mother. So here also we find Vibhishana, he advised the brother, please release that lady. What is the necessity? It is not, if you want to fight with Rama, fight with Rama. Why you have taken the wife? That is not the way the Kshatriyas they do. You are angry with Rama because Rama's brother did something wrong to your sister. You have every right to declare the war against Rama. And I think the Vibhishana would have been by the side of the Ravana in that war. Yes, you have tortured, you have done something wrong with our sister, and we challenge you in the open, the war. The duels that there should be by involving other soldiers. The Vibhishana said, but the Ravana said, okay, if I cannot kill him, I will give the punishment. And the punishment was putting the fire. So his people immediately brought lot of fabrics and clothes, and they wrapped that the long tail, and the people, they were also pouring and sprinkling oil into it, and they lighted the fire. When they were doing it, Hanuman, the fully calm and composed because of the self-confidence, he knew nothing is going to happen to him. Rather, he thought, oh, this is a great opportunity. They are helping me to do a havoc over here in such a way, the ordinary people, whenever they will think like a Hanuman, they will be afraid. The creative fear psychosis in the mind of the people, fear psychosis in the mind of the people, Hanumana was very happy waiting for them to light it up. And they lighted it. When they lighted it, Hanumana started burning the building after building. And when he was jumping from one building to another building, he was showing that the description is there beautifully, as if something was passing with the fire. And through the air he was passing a huge body and the tail is on fire, and he is moving like a cloud in fire, moving, jumping, and one after another. And what he was burning? The wooded beautiful houses, palaces, forest, roads, and each and everything. Whole night he was doing like that, and he was so happy to create problem. And no one, because the fire was there, the people were all engaged to somehow to quench their fire of their own houses. Now Hanumana, he destroyed the beautiful land. A part of it was completely damaged. And then the Asuras understood that it was a great mistake. And the next day morning, he was sitting quietly. Hanumana had the capacity to become big and also to become very small. So he became small and he was hiding in one corner and he was thinking, oh my God, one mistake I have made. Because he was excited and he was going on putting fire all the buildings and the forest also. He forgot the presence of the Sita. The morning only, he came to his senses and he started thinking, oh my God, what has happened to Mother Sita? I forgot that she is also there in the forest. Have I also burned that forest? And what happened to Sita? Nowadays it is newspaper. Of course, the modern day newspapers are not that important. All the TV newses. So in those days, they were charana. Charana, a group of people, they will be in the early morning, they will go to all places and narrating what has happened in that city and what is going to be happen. So they were the news carriers. So Hanumana heard some of the charanas, they are mentioning only the forest where Ma Sita was there, that Ashoka Bana is safe, and all other forests have been burned, and many, many buildings burned, and temples burned, and palaces burned. Hanumana was very happy that at least I have saved the mother. Then he went to Mother Sita. Mother Sita told, I was so anxious when I heard that they are going to burn you. Then he told Mother, you need not to worry about me. No one can harm me. And we will be back. And very soon we will be back. Now that I know where you are, now that I know how to come over here, and everything is arranged, it won't take much time to reach back. So please take care of yourself. And then he started making his body big and prepared for the great leap back to the mainland. When the Hanumana was flying back, in the meantime, all these days, these people, they were worrying and thinking what has happened to Hanumana. Now we know that the group of the people who were there at the southern part of the India, and from there only the Hanumana jumped to the Sri Lanka. So there, these people, they were waiting and they were wondering what the Hanumana will bring the information. Suddenly they heard a tremendous sound. The one of the old, the Hanumana, he said, oh, now success, because the Hanumana would not have made that sound if he was not successful. Then it is the pure success and he is coming back. Hanumana, when they afterwards they saw, there's a beautiful description in the Sundara Kanda of the Ramayana, that as if a huge cloud is coming down in a great force towards the earth. But it is so beautiful that cloud is coming down to the earth with a great force, and it was Hanumana. And he lighted over there, and all people, they ran to listen to what has happened. And then Hanumana said, let us go back, inform Sri Rama that we are successful. Thank you, friends. And in the coming 2 months, January and February, you all know that we'll be in vacation, there will be no classes, and I will come back again if everything is arranged, and from the March onwards, we'll again study the Ramayana. So let us say Shanti 3 times and we conclude. Om Shanti, 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Sarda.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. How was your holiday season?
So we are all now getting